Hello, it's Serum again, and I am playing Kerbal Space Program, and I am attempting again to send kerbalnauts to the moon and safely return them back to Kerbin. I have this is my third attempt now. The first one, if you've seen the last video with Jebediah as the leader of that, I successfully landed on the moon, and then I accidentally hit spacebar and separated the command module from the rocket, and so now they're trapped on the moon. I then attempted another one, landed safely on the moon, started to bring them home, and they are now trapped somewhere in orbit between the moon and Kerbin, out of fuel. So I have rescue two rockets I have to rescue, and as you can see, there it is, right there, the in between the moon and Kerbin. So I have to rescue them and rescue our hero Jebediah at some point and bring him home safely. But for now, we still have a mission: land safely on the moon and come back. So this is my third attempt. I decided to go with the asparagus staging rockets because the last attempt I tried a different rocket and didn't have enough fuel. And now we're going to begin. We have an orbit of round Kerbin, and now we have to get to the moon. This was it's actually a lot easier. It's getting easier and easier every time I do this. I've landed three rockets on the moon now. Before that, I had one time when I landed some Kerbins on the moon and the rocket was destroyed and they were trapped there. But now I'm landing stuff all the time, so it's getting a lot easier. But I had yet to bring anything back, so this is a very stressful mission for me. I'm determined to do it this time, and just in case I run out of fuel, you can see that there's a one of the connection things on the front so that I can connect up to a rocket for refueling if they don't make it. The other two rockets didn't have that, so I was prepared this time just in case this didn't work. And successfully brought it to the moon again and created an orbit. And now I'm going to get into that orbit and try to land on the moon. That's the tricky part. That's, usually takes me a few attempts, but I feel confident that this will work out well. Just to play it safe, though, I'm extending the solar panels because I always tend to run out of electrical power whenever I'm approaching the moon. Seems like I go behind the moon or something, and then that's it. I've basically lost. And that would be my son behind me watching a video. So now I'm getting into a circular orbit around the moon. That's the easy part. Doesn't take too much fuel. We're working with gravity here, although it's not as much as Kerbin. The tricky part is going to be landing. I always do these approaches where I come in front of the moon and basically let it catch up to me. And the problem with that is that uses a lot of fuel to slow down, and it can be dangerous because you're falling into the moon and the moon's falling into you. So I decide, though, I'm going to do it right away instead of orbiting a few times to decide how to do this. I want to jump in, land in right away because I'm in a hurry, and because, as you know, a good mission should be rushed. And by that, I am probably going to screw myself. But as you see here, I bring in an orbit into this. I'm trying to get myself into the sunlight, and I'm trying to find a good place that is nice and smooth for landing. And then on top of that, I want to get as straight on as I can because I don't want a lot of lateral movement when I'm coming in, because that's what always gets me. And I'm kind of aiming for that crater, but I'm not sure if I want to land in it or around it. I end up kind of deciding to land around it, but that may be a mistake. We'll see. So now I'm just gonna bring in, pull myself in, and start falling into the moon. At this point, I'm stressed out because I'm already, I'm feeling good about my fuel, um, but I'm not quite sure if I have enough to get back. And I really don't want to have to make a third rescue mission here, because I already have to save two other crews. I don't really want to have a third one. And I was deciding on falling in, but now I'm going to just try to drop straight in and get as much lateral movement out of the way as quick as possible. Just because after 3 attempts, I'm getting a little impatient and I'm kind of rushing this, which isn't probably the best thing, but that's the way I am. I get very impatient sometimes with this game. And I've closed one of my solar panels. I'm going to close the other one now. I had one closed just because I didn't need both of them open. That way, in case one broke off or something. I closed the other one because I don't want it distracting me while I'm falling onto the moon. And I don't want it ripped off when I'm trying to land. Figured I'd just close it now so I don't forget. And now we just move in to the moon. It looks so beautiful. So bumpy. And ultimately, I would like to have enough fuel to just travel around and explore the moon. But that probably will come at some point when I decide to do a moon base. Because then I can actually spend some time on the moon exploring it. Finding, some of the Easter eggs. And just, in general, just checking it out. Because I've never really spent much time on the moon yet. I've had 2 missions and both of them are pretty short. Just land, get out, jump around, and hop in and fly away. That giant crater is definitely interesting to me. I've seen a video where somebody landed in it one time, and I'd kind of like to do that too. Not sure what just happened there. Oh. I had a weird thing happen with my screen. Alright, so now we're coming in. I learned from my previous mistake with not having a advanced SRS on the module. That's the first mission with Jebediah. I successfully landed it, but when I tried to reattempt it after I separated the module, I just couldn't do it because the thing was bouncing all over the place coming in. So this time I have an advanced SRS. I can keep it steady when I'm coming down, keep it level with the ground. Although I find that doesn't always work well either, because on my second landing on the moon, I landed on a hill. Also, if you'll see off to the side, you can't see it now, but there's the archway is kind of up in that left corner there. That's the one of the Easter eggs on the moon. So I'm coming in. I want to check out that archway sometime. That'll probably be one of my attempts. Okay, here we go. We're coming in. And I apologize if my voice is off a little bit from this, because I'm trying to sync it up as well as I can. Okay, and we're coming down. As always, I'm going a little fast. Gonna power her up some. And up, drifting. Okay, we're bouncing. Crap, up. Okay, bringing it down again. Oh, okay. Wasn't the most beautiful, but we've landed. So now I'll just hop out. Whoop, not like that. Didn't want to hop out like that, but whatever. That works. Come on, up, up, up. Don't be dead on me. Don't die. Okay. And we're on the moon. Another glorious day for Kerbin. And all of its little green people. Alright, that was fun. Now back we go. I'm always concerned too, the ladder. Like I'm gonna miss something with the ladder and then I'll never be able to get my guys back up in there. But fortunately so far I haven't had a problem with that. And we'll take off, and I was in a hurry, so we're just gonna go. We're going for it. Gonna get back into orbit. I'm a little concerned on the fuel. We still have slightly under half a tank. But and I forgot to bring up the ladder, so I'm gonna do that. But I'm I feel like that might be enough, because the nice thing is the moon's small, there's not a lot of gravity, and we've got the forces of Kerbin to help us get back into orbit, so it won't take as much fuel, but it's scary, and I couldn't quite get a circular orbit like I wanted. It's not the best orbit, but that's okay. I'll fix. I'm not going to. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just need to get back to Kerbin. And I'm extending the. I want to make sure I have plenty of power, because the last thing I need to do is run out of power again when I go behind the moon. Already lined up for the burn, and we're off. We're now going into an orbit. We're leaving the sphere of influence of the moon and going into an orbit around Kerbin, although a very high orbit. But at least we're back into the influence of Kerbin. And that's one big step there. We're basically almost home. Unfortunately, I wish I was a little bit closer. Okay, we're bringing it in. This is where I'm starting to really sweat, because that fuel is almost gone. But I'm going to bring it in and just basically try to get in close enough that I can use the atmosphere to slow down my module and decay the orbit and bring it right in. And that's what I'm counting on. And I've got a sliver of fuel left, so I got a little bit of room to make some changes if I need to, but not much. So now there's Kerbin. We're so close. So close. We're on our way home. But this is where I start to discover that there's a problem. I'm not as close as I thought. There's home, but so close yet so far away. I am still about 200 kilometers above the surface, as you can see, and that's not in the atmosphere like I was thinking. So this is a problem. I can burn here and pull in the orbit, but I'll use a lot of fuel in the process, and I'm not sure if I have enough. I don't think I have enough to do it. So I decide, if I go back out to my apoapsis, I'll use a lot less fuel, because you'll see here it's just the amount of I'm going to have to bring it in is probably just a lot more than I have the fuel to do. So if I go to my apoapsis, I should be able to use less fuel and just pull in my periapsis a little bit so that I'm in the atmosphere. So I go back around and I try it again. Bring it in just a little bit. I'm pulling it in. This time I don't want to make the mistake of just getting into the atmosphere, because it may not be enough. I want to try to see if I can get to the planet. And I decide to go for it all. I'm going to use up all my fuel in this process and hope it's enough. Because if not, then we've got another capsule to rescue. And it looks like it is enough this time. It looks like we're coming home. I'm comfortable. Everything looks good. We're coming in on the dark side of the moon, of the planet, but I can live with that. So I decide it's time to separate. There's nothing more I can do anyway, and say goodbye to the rockets. So we're coming in, and what do you know? Just by dumb luck, it happens to be right by the Kerbal Space Station, or Space Center, sorry. And so I deploy the parachutes trying to land on it, but unfortunately I'm coming in way too fast, and I end up coming in just about 14 kilometers off the coast into the water. But you would almost think I knew what I was doing here. I didn't have a clue, but I just wanted to land back on the planet. But look at that. That was probably the best flight. Used up all my fuel, but ended up right where I needed to be. So there we go. Well, I'm Serum, and thanks for watching this video, and next time we're going to try to do something even better. Try to get a space station to the moon. Till next time.